The Carts and the Parsons were two ornery families from Charleston, West Virginia, whose legendary feud stretched back generations over every petty slight and disagreement imaginable, from boundary disputes over a few missing fence posts to accusations of fixed calf roping contests at the county fair. These two clans just loved to bile one another's blood at every turn. Land squabbles, stolen livestock, allegations of cheating at video games, you name it. They fought tooth and nail over it all. But their greatest, most infamous battle would be sparked by a fluffy pillow and the wandering eye of that charming scoundrel, Austin Parsons. Austin was known wide as a hellion across the Kanawha County hills for his smooth-talking ways with the fairer sex. Despite being a married man, he carried on dalliances brazenly wherever he could slyly charm and whisper his way into a woman's bed and breeches. One such conquest was young Matilda Cart, the raven-haired daughter of the prideful Randolph Cart. Matilda fancied herself a modern woman and matched with Austin on that new Tinder application the young uns were all used nowadays. She assumed he was just a footloose bachelor like herself, based on his dashing profile picture and cocksure bio. They went on a date to Crispy's Chicken over in Huntington, one of the few decent eating places in the whole Tri-County area. Austin laid his silver tongue on thick while they chowed down on some of Crispy's famous chicken sandwiches and fries. No ketchup, though. Crispy's don't carry that northern sugar sauce nonsense. Matilda played coy at first, as young ladies are instructed, but like so many sweet things before her, she quickly fell for Austin's scoundrel charms after polishing off a few baskets of tendern fries and a couple of bourbon sweet teas. Before she knew it, they were all tangled up in the sheets back at Austin's place, that old apartment on Quarrier Street. Matilda assumed this was the start of a fun courtship with the dashing rogue. But come morning light, she awoke to find a wedding band on the nightstand and pictures of Austin with another woman all over the walls. The bastard was spoken for. Furious over his deception, Matilda grabbed her decorative goose-down pillow, a treasured gift from her dearly departed mama who raised prize-winning Canadian geese, and swatted Austin hard across the face. She meant it as harsh punishment for his philandering ways, not just some impish prank between young lovers. Well, Austin didn't take too kindly to that blow, no sir. Despite being squarely in the wrong as a married man who should have kept it in his pants, he took it as a grave insult to his pride and what lurked between his legs. He leapt up, pillow in hand, and stormed out in an ornery rage without so much as offering Matilda a good day, miss, for her troubles. Matilda tried to chase after Austin and retrieve her mama's irreplaceable pillow, but the son of a biscuit-eating gunny sacker had already thrown on his clothes and raced out the door with it in tow. When the distraught young woman finally returned home on Virginia Street, her daddy Randolph immediately noticed the missing pillow. Well, that prize goose downy pillow meant everything to Matilda, being one of the few keepsakes from her beloved mama's life. Randolph recognized the hurt on his little girl's face. He'd been a cad in his wayward youth, too, breaking too many pretty hearts to count. A blind man could have seen Austin's philandering ways plain as day. So Randolph raised a posse of his brawniest Cart kin, everyone armed with rifle and rusty plow, sharper than a boar's tusk. They stormed over to the Parsons' place on Beauregard Street, knocking down doors in chicken coops. dead set on getting that sentimental pillow back from Austin and his reprobate daddy aunts. Old Aunts Parsons caught wind of the Cart clan coming up his holler, hollering for blood and pillows. He quickly mustered his own boys and pawpaws, ready to protect the family pride, and Austin's sorry hide over a stolen pillow like it was a brand new Ford pickup. That's when all hell broke loose across East End as the two families kicked off their legendary feud. The Carts and Parsons brawled and battered through the streets and alleyways of Charleston, bushwhacking from porches and doghouses alike. Gunfired met with gunfired with cries of, "Give back Matilda's pillow, you snakes." And, "It's our prize now, you inbred hicks," echoing through the neighborhood. Store windows shattered from Ray Lee accidental stray gunfire as the fight spilled out across the whole city. Vendors' carts were torched, old coal mines reflooded, and plenty of outhouses distributed in the chaos. The ragamuffin young guns of Charleston delighted in the mayhem, cheering on their kin and talking shit from the sidelines. Eventually, the ruckus grew so loud and uncontrollable that it awoke even the bourbon-soaked Charleston police, who pried themselves from their usual midday nap to intervene. But those poor flatfoots did their damnedest to break up the feud and wrest that slobbery pillow away from the two warring sides, only to be quickly overpowered and pelted with, besides, chicken bones and fluffy chest feathers. Why, after a few too many casualties that day, when one shootout turned tragically live, even the cops just gave up trying to politely reason with these drunken, die-hard pillow lunatics. No amount of harsh language could have calmed those idiot families and their precious feathers. From then on, the hostilities only escalated as the Carts and Parsons were locked in a vicious cycle of brutal raids, bushwhackings and goose-down ambushes across the hills and hollers surrounding Charleston. This bloody vendetta over Matilda's pillow, driven by years of built-up bitter resentment and vengeance, lasted decades, maybe centuries by some accounts. So many lives were senselessly lost over the years that both families dwindled down to almost nothing. And by the end, the remaining Carts and Parsons alike could hardly even remember why they started fighting tooth and nail in the first damn place. All because one Charleston Chad couldn't keep his philandering ways discreet, stealing and refusing to return a treasured keepsake pillow from a poor woman he brazenly deceived after a dinner date at Crispy's Chicken in Huntington. Such were the foolish, tragic ways of the Carters and Parsons. Their eternal shame, a feud for the ages, kicked off by Matilda's fluffy goose-down pillow. Finally, after exhausting every other option over the decades and with their numbers dwindling critically low, the last remaining Carts and Parsons agreed to go on the Dr. Phil show and have the feud settled once and for all in front of a national audience. Well,